You see why I keep saying that? You see, these Latinos never loved Black Americans. They never loved Black people. That's just the honest truth. They never loved Black Americans. Every single thing they want to be doing is to idolize white folks. They want to worship white folks. They want to be at the beck and call of white folks. But you know, when trouble comes, they want Black Americans to come as the savior to come rescue them. Now, let it make sense to me that a Latino woman went to a podcast on CNN, on a live TV, knowing fully well that you are being recorded, and she had the audacity, the guts to say this. Latinos, is it that you people do not communicate to each other? Is it that you people do not communicate? Like have like a normal conversation? And these are the people you want Black Americans to come out for, to come protest, to come shout, to come dance, to come do this? Anyways, you guys, I want you guys to watch this video. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, let's go watch. I'll be back with commentaries.
I don't really want any more immigrants here. I don't want any more legal immigrants, and I don't want any more illegal immigrants. We have enough people as it is. Well, because it makes Americans suffer. It not only affects the culture, so it changes the demographics of the country, which will affect the white people who live in this country.
Thank you for being honest. And this video that I'm making is not even for white people. It's for you Latinos for Trump. The ones that claim that all white MAGA, Donald Trump, and his administration, they're not against us Latinos. They're just against illegals. No, 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 no. They are against this country not being predominantly white. And that is the reason why Donald Trump is bringing over white people from South Africa into this country. And from the get-go, as soon as they arrive to this country, they get a visa and they get government aid so that their start in this country is off to a really good start. Oh, Ricardo, but they're coming over seeking asylum because they're oppressed over in South Africa. Meanwhile, they are removing brown people that came from Latin American countries on asylum as refugees. They are removing their asylum and deporting them. A very large percentage of brown people from Latin American countries that came here as refugees, they've already been deported. Many of them that already gained their U.S. citizenship, their citizenship got removed and they've been deported. The problem in this country is not illegal immigration. The problem, or rather, their problem is there is too many brown people in this country. That's the problem. Do you know how many white people from Australia and from European countries come to this country illegally and live here illegally? And yet, when they say, if you look illegal, we can pull you over to make sure that you're not illegal. And somehow, some way, looking illegal just happens to look like this. As if only people that look like this are undocumented, came to this country illegally. And like she said, it's not about coming here legally or illegally. It is about keeping America white. This video is for Latinos for Trump. I hope that you know that when you voted for Trump, you voted for white supremacy to reign. And when I say reign, I mean reign as in R-E-I-G-N. But I also mean reign because ICE is going to rain on you. And you voted for it. And you know what's the worst part about ICE raining on you? Is the fact that if you look like this and you get targeted by ICE, 9 times out of 10, that ICE agent is also gonna look like this. So it looks like it's not only white people that are white supremacists that want to keep this country white, but also you Latinos want to make sure you help white people keep this country white and get rid of the brown. Because every single time, never mind white people not wanting us here, every single time that I see a Latino getting on a video and talking about, oh, I'm Mexican, but I also don't want the Mexicans to come here illegally, I want to ask, how do you feel about the white people from European countries that come here illegally? Because it only seems like you have a problem with people that look like you coming to this country. It seems that your problem is not illegal immigration. It seems that your problem is seeing more people that look like you coming to this country, legal or illegal. You are a white supremacist that wants to see this country being white. I have yet to see one Latino for Trump.
This is all I got from this video.
The fact that Latinos,
I hope they will get the message.
That although came from a Latin American country, whether seeking asylum as refugees, and then acquired their U.S. citizenship and still got deported under Trump's administration, and you are perfectly fine with that. Meanwhile, you have nothing to say about the fact that Trump is bringing over all these white folks from South Africa and from Ukraine to this country. Not only just bringing them here, but making sure they start off with plenty of government aid. Isn't that what white Americans complain about all the time? All these Mexican, these people from Latin America are coming here and getting all this government aid. No, they're not. You know what they're actually doing? They're coming here and working and paying all these taxes, but never ever getting any tax returns. Meanwhile, all these white folks from South Africa that are being brought here and all the benefits that they're going to be receiving from the start, none of you have anything to say about it. And this is not surprising coming from white folks. And as much as I want to sit here and say, but it is very surprising and shocking that this is also coming from Latinos. But unfortunately, it's not shocking and surprising either. Because the reality is that Latinos, as a collective, they seek white validation, white alignment, and as a whole, they uphold white supremacy. So it makes complete sense that when Latinos for Trump say things like, oh yeah, get them illegals out of here, they're only referring to people that look like them, that come from Latin American countries, and never, ever, ever are referring to the white people of European countries that come here illegally. Not only that, but the white people that Trump's administration is bringing here. People need to study this. For when you watch my videos and I say that Latinos as a collective uphold white supremacy, you understand what I mean.
I don't really want any more immigrants here. I don't want any more legal immigrants, and I don't want any more illegal immigrants. We have enough people as it is. Well, because it makes Americans suffer. It not only affects the culture, so it changes the demographics of the country, which will affect the white people who live in this country, but it's also going to affect, things like housing. Now Americans are struggling with housing. The cost of housing is going way up because now we're competing with millions of other people. So it hurts your economy. It hurts the everyday person because now they're struggling with these people.
Destiny?
Usually you can tell when the person you're arguing with or a person who's presenting arguments is being dishonest is when they're trying to present a thing that can give you like the pros of every side of an equation. The reality is for any given thing, especially economically, usually this works policy-wise as well, there's usually pros and there's usually cons. And the goal is to try to get as much of the pros as possible while minimizing the negative impacts of the cons. The idea that if you deport 12 or 13 million workers, that would only result in pros for the American average citizen is so unbelievably and unfathomably ludicrous. It defies the understanding of every single part of society, all the way from government budgets, which are benefited by illegal immigrants who pay taxes into Social Security that they'll never withdraw from, all the way down to local economies where you've got people who are able to, rent buildings out to people that are renting them, even if they're illegal immigrants. You've got employers who are able to hire people, even if they might be paying them under the table or whatever. And then at the end of that transaction, you've got customers who are enjoying lower prices and a greater diversity of things that they can buy from as a result of that. If you want to get rid of all of the illegal immigrants and then you want to curb down, or you want to curb legal immigration, then fine, but you have to be honest about what's on the other end of that transaction. Prices are going to be higher for everybody. A whole bunch of small businesses are going to shut down. Housing prices, yes, might go down, but that means that homeowners that own houses are going to see the value of their own home decrease. You're going to see the foreclosure or the closing of a lot of residential buildings that people are renting from. I think that if you want to make that argument, I think it's an interesting argument to have, but it's so unbelievably boring when people try to argue that you can get the pros of every possible side of an equation if you just do the one thing that they like the most.
I think I was racially profiled today.
If you're a Latina Trump supporter, aka Chickens for Chick-fil-A, you do not get to come to God's internet and complain about being racially profiled at Trader Joe's. Because the administration that you voted for and that you support actually went to the Supreme Court and got the Supreme Court to legally allow ICE to racially profile people in order to make arrests or to detain them. So if your feelings are so hurt from being racially profiled at Trader Joe's, imagine the feelings of the individuals who are being racially profiled by federal agents, arrested, and taken to detention centers. Latinas for Trump are only Latinas when it's convenient for them, when it makes them feel special, when it makes them feel exotic, when they want people to fetishize them. But when it comes to being in the voting booth, all of a sudden they're not Latina anymore. No hablo español. I'm an American. You want to speak Spanish when it's convenient for you and it makes you seem exotic and spicy and fiery, but you don't vote in favor to protect the Spanish language and Hispanics. You don't vote to advance and better nor to protect your community. Under Trump's administration, there has been multiple accounts of ICE agents going and arresting and detaining and taking Puerto Ricans to detention centers. Now, she probably wasn't paying attention to the discourse surrounding Bad Bunny when he was performing at the halftime show at the Super Bowl because she was probably too busy watching the Kid Rock show, and I can only make that assumption because this is her following list. And because she turned off her repost and refused to tell people who she voted for and simply just wants to dance around the question. But during that discourse, it was made very well known that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. Yes, we're U.S. citizens because we are currently being occupied by the United States government. So when we are born, we are given citizenship status immediately. Yet, what did I say? Puerto Ricans are being picked up, arrested, and detained and taken to detention centers? Why? I wonder why. Because ICE is allowed to legally racially profile. They look brown like me. They speak Spanish and they're doing it in public. Maybe they have an accent like my father. Just this past year alone, ICE was sitting by the dozens in vehicles outside of a museum in Humboldt Park, Chicago. Shout out to my birth neighborhood. Beautiful Humboldt Park. It is the Puerto Rican neighborhood of Chicago. And yet they're sitting outside of a Puerto Rican museum for what? Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. Because these discriminatory and racial profiling tactics have been legalized, allowed, and normalized under the administration that you supported, the one that you voted for. Therefore, I do not care. I do not want to hear you complain about being racially profiled at a Trader Joe's when federal agents are out here ruining the lives of and racially profiling Latinos and Hispanics all around the country. The leopard finally ate your face, and to that I say good.
I don't want to hear your cries. I don't want to hear your complaining. I don't want to hear your coulda, shoulda, wouldas, because I don't feel no ways tired. I don't want to hear this is not what I voted for. This is exactly what you voted for. That man let you know time and time again that he don't fool up with black and brown people. And it's sad because you yearning so bad to have proximity to whiteness made you turn a blind eye to the disrespect, made you feel like you were bigger than the program, made you feel like all the insults that he spewed against your people didn't apply to you. So now y'all want to act shocked and appalled because he done called the National Guard, everybody and they mama, to scrape you and your family members off the floor of LA.
Who say that they regret voting for Trump are the same people who fail open book tests. Because the answers were right there in front of you. All you had to do was just Google and read. Everything that Trump has done thus far has been laid out in Project 2025, and that playbook or whatever was released months before Election Day. So you're regretting your vote because his policies are starting to impact you personally, which means you are a selfish person because you didn't care once about the people around you, you just cared about yourself. So yeah, apology not accepted. However, I do hope that you continue to educate yourself before the next election. It's never too late to start educating yourself at all. So let this be a lesson and I don't know, try to do better come next year.
The Latinos that voted for him, you will never, and I repeat, never be white. You will never be accepted as one of them, and you certainly are not exempt from the racism that is this racist ass regime. When that lady put in her post, alligators' lives matter, and she mentioned a number, that number being 65 million. Do you know how many Latinos are in the United States? Approximately 65 million, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Approximately 60 plus million people. So guess what? They weren't just talking about the illegal immigrants, because data actually says that there are 10 to about 12 illegal, undocumented folks in the United States. They're talking about you. They're talking about people like us, because we are not exempt from the racism that is rooted in what these people believe in. And frankly, the foundation of this country that was built on the stealing of land from indigenous people by immigrants that came here from Europe. So when you think that you are better than an immigrant because your family came here the right way, remember that this land was actually stolen from day one. So when you think that you are better because you're second generation or third generation because you've been an American for a longer amount of time, I hope that you never have to experience a time where you have to flee a country for your own safety or that of your family. So when you think that you are somehow not going to be affected by any of this, when you think that you don't have to care, what happens if you are next? What happens if it's someone that you personally know? And I know already, because we've seen it. We've seen the clips of people that supported him, diehard supporters that are now crying on the news because their family members are getting deported and they thought that they would never be impacted. You see, in this country, so many people lack empathy. They are unwilling or somehow unable to think beyond themselves, and then we run into these situations. Wake up. The proximity to whiteness isn't serving you, and it's not serving the community. You have to recognize what is happening, because ultimately, they're not just going after criminals. And all of this is connected to so many things that impact our community and frankly are holding us back, like anti-blackness and colorism and internalized racism. And if you think that these are woke words, look them up and you will realize what exists, what has existed in our community for a very long time. And I say all of this because there are so many people that have fallen to the false prophets of the world, and I need us as a community to come together and wake up. So if you're wanting more of this type of content, follow for more, because we need to have
this woman. Anyways, welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for watching to this point. So this Latino woman just went on CNN and messed up herself. That's just the honest truth. Because you don't want legal immigrants. You don't want illegal immigrants. As a Latino, who are you? I just want to know. As a Latino in America, who are you? You don't want legal immigrants. You don't want illegal immigrants. And the reason why you feel like you don't want is because it's not doing well to the white people. Anyways, let me break it down so that you can understand better if my video will eventually get to you that is on that podcast. There is nobody that enjoy the favor of immigrants more than white people. There is nobody that use immigrants anyhow they want and pay them peanuts than more than black white people. White people are the ones that need these immigrants more than the black people you think that need them. And as a Latino person, I'll make this clear and clear to you. Proximity to whiteness is actually not white. For you to go on a podcast and say this kind of absurd, messed up thing is actually a shame, as far as I'm concerned. White people have been the one coming out to cry that ever since immigrants or the orange man has literally been whooping immigrants' ass, they have been in pains. Because why? There is nobody to now work on their farm. Because why? There is nobody to stand and do the minor jobs that they can do for hours and just pay them maybe $10, $20, just because they are in America and they want to survive. And this is why I keep saying, I don't blame black Americans that said, we are not coming out. For these Latinos, Hispanics, Asian, Mexican, that their axes are being whooped. We are not coming out. I literally do not blame them. Because on different occasions, especially the Latino community, the Latin community has proved that they are ungrateful when it comes to the things of American dealing with white or black person in America. The Latin community has proved that there is nothing any black person can do that they will literally appreciate that black person. The only time they want to appreciate that black person is when they want black person to actually come out and protest with them. To actually come out and say no to ICE. While you guys were the one that did the vote. You guys were the one that never listened. So even when she went on a podcast to say something, she had to also do it in favor of white folks, thinking that white folks can literally care about her. The beautiful part about white folks is they don't care about you as a Latino person. They don't care. They only care about you whenever they want to use you, like I said. But I'm happy that, you see, this 2026, a lot of Latino communities are coming out to like expose who they really are. A lot of Latino communities are coming out to tell us to our faces that this is what we can do. This is what we are. There is nothing anybody can do about it. A lot of Latinos are coming out to show black people their true color. So if you're coming out to show black people your true color, or you're coming out to tell black people that they are not valued, do not expect black people to value you. You don't want illegal immigrants. You don't want legal immigrants because, oh, you don't want white people to be uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. I still ask the question, who are you? Who are you? No matter how you want to toast it, no matter how you want to phrase it, if you like being in America since the day of John the Baptist, you are also an immigrant. The only person that has the right, the audacity, the effrontery to say this with their full chest are black Americans. It's as simple as ABCD. So, but even the black Americans are not saying things like this. We have people like, especially the Latin community, saying things uncontrollably, like they don't even mind. We're just going to say it the way we're going to say it. And it's quite bad, honestly. But anyways, do what you think is good for you. Show yourself more. Bring out more of your dirty character so that we can actually see and know how to adjust ourselves as well. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Black people, just know that you are on your own. No matter how difficult it is, know that these people, them people will never vibe with us as black people. Disclaimers, educational purposes only.